course, Pete Rose going to his final time at the plate last night before extending his hitting streak to 32 consecutive ball games with a bunt single along the third base line, and Rose will be leading it off here in the first inning against Kaat with Ken Griffey and Joe Morgan to follow. Kaat still loosening up with catcher Bob Boone. He is now set to go to work. Rose climbs into the batter's box. We've got another good crowd here at the vet. The pitch to Pete is swung on, fouled down the right field line and out of play, and this game is underway. Rose batting .306 with 4 homers and 27 RBIs. He takes it low and inside from Kaat. 1 ball and 1 strike on Rose batting right-handed against the Phillies left-hander. The pitch, and that's taken low and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Game 2 of what will be an 8-game road trip for Cincinnati. Smash hit, short hop by Ted Sizemore at second. Nice play on a line drive that he short hops to his glove side and feeds on to Richie Hebner to retire Pete. 1 away. So Pete hit the ball extremely hard, and Sizemore makes a nice play at second. 1 away in the top of the first, and here's right fielder Ken Griffey. Kenny batting .297 with 3 homers and 27 RBIs. He looks at a strike. Not one of the quick workers, of course, in baseball. Misses with a breaking pitch, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield shading Griffey to hit toward left. He swings and pops it in the air to left center field. Greg Luzinski settling under it, and the ball makes the catch, and very quickly 2 men have been retired. Here's a message for baseball fans in the Indianapolis area. The Indians are at home this weekend with Omaha, and there's a doubleheader Saturday evening. 2 down as Rose is grounded out. Griffey's fly to left, and Joe Morgan, the hitter. Joe batting .258, 54 RBIs with 8 homers, and now plate umpire Lee Wire walks out to take a look at the baseball Kaat is playing with and gives it back to the pitcher. The pitch to Morgan, and that's a curve high and inside. Hebner, Sizemore, Bowa, and Schmidt in the Philadelphia infield at first, second, short, and third. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 2-0. Luzinski left, Maddox center, Martin right, and Bob Boone behind the plate. Kaat trying to retire the Reds in order, and Morgan looks at a fastball for strike 1. 2-1. Swung on and popped back and out of play. That'll be dropping just below our broadcast booth. George Foster on deck for Cincinnati, and he will be up next in the event Morgan gets on. Kaat checking in with Boone and sends in the 2-2. That swung on, hit the straightaway center. Backpedaling is Garry Maddox, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. Reds are out 1-2-3. After a half inning of play and the series wrap up at the bat, the Reds nothing, and the Phillies are coming to bat.
Well, we loaded up the dogs in the pickup truck, heading out hunting and hoping for luck. Raring to go where the country's good as new. We'd hunt for a spell and then settle down, take it easy and gather round, pass a red fox chewing tobacco and have a chew. Later on, when we's all done in, we build a fire, let the story spin, open up another pouch and add another chew. Red Fox is mild and like I say, a taste that fresh tastes good all day. Like a Tennessee hound, Red Fox won't let you down. Why don't you try Red Fox? Look for it in the white pouch with a picture of Old Red taking it easy. Red Fox chewing tobacco. Now it's better than ever. One day real soon between me and you, I'm heading back to the fields with my Red Fox chew. Because, mister, taking it easy never tasted so good. Red Fox.
Well, the Reds will be back at Riverfront Stadium a week from tomorrow night for a big 4-game series with this same Philadelphia club. After the Phillies weekend, it's a brief road trip to Atlanta, and then it's back home for a 6-game homestand featuring the Padres and the Braves. Here's how to order your tickets by mail. Send check or money order payable to Cincinnati Reds, Box 1970, Cincinnati. Box seats are $5, reserved seats $4. Please enclose 50 cents with each order for postage and handling. Tommy Hume in the game tonight with a record of 4 wins and 9 losses, a .506 earned run average as he makes his 17th start. Had a couple of victories in a row, a winner in relief on the 9th of this month over San Francisco, and then pitched his first Major League complete game last Sunday, investing the New York Mets in Cincinnati 9-2. So Tommy Hume has been pitching well of late. And in to lead things off for the Philadelphia Phillies is right fielder Jerry Martin. Martin batting .297, a right-handed batter. The pitch to him is swung out and missed. Martin, a pinch hitter in last night's game. Dave Tomlin struck him out. He's hit 4 home runs and has driven in 18 runs. The right-hander pitches, and Martin with a foul ball off the right field side, strike 2. A San Francisco-Chicago game has been suspended after 7.5 innings of play, with the Giants leading 9-8 because of darkness. That being the last trip in for the Giants into Chicago this season, that game would not be made up unless it had a bearing on the pennant race. Check swing on a breaking pitch outside. So if the Reds win tonight, they will move to within a game and a half of first place. That going down is no game, at least for now. Bouncing ball, high bounce to the shortstop. Concepcion on to Driessen, and that retires Jerry Martin. One away. That'll bring up Larry Bowa. Bowa had a big night despite the Philadelphia defeat last night. He had 3 singles and 5 times up, raising his batting average to .295. Pete Rose already in shallow at third base. Tommy Hume into his windup. And the pitch. Bowa swings and misses at a pitch down. Strike 1. Defensively for the Reds tonight, Driessen at first, Morgan at second, Concepcion at short with Rose at third, Foster left, Henderson center, Griffey in right, and Johnny Bench behind the plate catching. Swung on, ground ball to short. Davey off to his right, needs something on that throw, and safe. He bounced it to Driessen, and Bowa, who can run, gets an infield base hit. Now that's Larry Bowa's game right there with the good speed he possesses, hitting that ball on the ground, and Davey had to go off to his right to field the ball, even though he got rid of it quickly with a bounce to Driessen. Bowa beats the throw, and that's the first hit of the night. Here's Mike Schmidt. Mike returned to the lineup after missing 16 games last night. He was out with a pulled hamstring. Batting .249 with 11 homers, 37 RBIs, and a double and a single in 4 trips in the opener. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Mentioned Lee Wire, our plate umpire, at first base, Ed Montague, Harry Wendelstedt at second, and Dutch Renard at third base. There's a throw to first, and Bowa back. Reds are trying to make it 6 wins in their last 7 games if they can knock off the Phillies in this one. Schmidt takes it inside. It's a ball and a strike. Of course, as Sparky pointed out tonight in the main Spark show, only 1 game behind the Giants in that all-important loss column. San Francisco with a record of 57-38. The Reds 54-39. Pitches foul back, and Hume with a count advantage at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hume, hands on knees, looking in for the sign as Bowa has reached on an infield single after Martin has bounced out to shortstop. No score in the bottom of the first. Swung on and fouled back again by Mike Schmidt. We'll be in Montreal tomorrow night to kick off a 3-game series in that Canadian city. Mike Lacoste, the young right-hander called up just a few days ago from our AAA Farm Club in Indianapolis, will be making his first Major League start. And the probable for Montreal will be right-hander Steve Rogers. Hume kicks and fires. Schmidt swings and wastes another one with a foul ball. We pointed out last night the Phillies don't lose too many games here at Veterans Stadium. That was only their 12th loss in 43 games in 1978. On the road, they have won 17 and lost 27. They'll be in Cincinnati a week from tomorrow night. Kick off a 4-game weekend with a 5:30 doubleheader. They've got Boa picked off. The throw goes to Driessen. Danny runs him towards second, flips to Morgan, and Morgan puts the tag on him. Tommy Hume a little bit slow getting off the mound to go over to get involved in that rundown in the event that his services might have been needed. And Johnny Bench very alertly went down when he saw that Hume was slow breaking off the mound, but they get Boa, and the putout will go 1 to 3 to 4. So nobody on with 2 men out. Mike Schmidt back in the batter's box, and Tommy Hume will now work out of the full wind-up as he sends in the pitch. Schmidt swings and sends it into center field. Breaking back is Henderson. Well hit on the warning track. Kenny can't get it. Here comes Griffey to back up the play, and going into second base standing is Mike Schmidt with a double to center field. Mike Schmidt doubling over the leaping Kenny Henderson on the warning track and straightaway center. So the caught stealing of Larry Bowa proves to be a mighty big play. That no doubt would have scored a run. As it is, Schmidt is at second base. Still no harm done to the Reds in terms of run production. And things will continue now for left fielder Greg Luzinski. Johnny Bench had gone out to the mound to talk with Hume. Luzinski briefly last night moved into a tie for home run leadership in the National League when he popped his 22nd of the year off Paul Mosco in the 4th inning, but of course Foster came back in the 8th with a grand slam, his 23rd. Luzinski takes it high a ball. The Bull hitting only .241. Driven in 56 runs. He swings and fouls. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy has had 2 decisions in his brief career against Philadelphia. Both of them have been losing decisions, including 1 defeat this season. Fastball up and in, 2-1. Philadelphia beat him 7-4 back on the 14th of May when he gave up 7 hits and 6 runs in 5 innings. Checking Schmidt out at second, and the 2-1 pitch. There's a line smash to right field. Griffey will not be able to get it. The ball tailing away from him. Schmidt will score. Luzinski coming on to second. He takes a turn. He's going to try and go to third. Here's a play, and he's going to be out. Luzinski trying to go to third and cut down Griffey to Morgan to Pete Rose, but that gets a run in. In the inning for the Phillies, 1 run on 2 base hits, no errors and nobody left on, and at the end of 1 complete, the Phils won and the Reds nothing.
Imagine this. You're standing in front of a house built from only new sash windows and 1 new sash door. Now let's go inside and experience new sash quiet. The new sash quiet came from the perfect custom fit and the exclusive thermal pane with its half-inch dead air space. Reducing outside noise is only part of the new sash story, eliminating the draft, the freezing winter wind, or the boiling summer air. The outside stays out because of the perfect new sash fit. For you, this means lower fuel bills, up to 30% lower. It makes dollars and cents to replace your worn-out windows and replace them with new sash, the original replacement window. For more information, call New Sash Collect, 267-8396. Your new sash windows also tilt in for easy cleaning and for enjoying the fresh spring and fall air. Ah.
Well, the Phillies lead at 1-0 at the end of 1 inning of play. Make that put out of Greg Luzinski at third base, 9-6-5. Griffey, Concepcion, Rose. They had 3 hits in the inning. So Luzinski gets a run-scoring double. He's cut down at third base, and now it'll be Foster to lead off the second against Jim Kaat. In the first inning, Rose grounded hard to second. Griffey fly to left. Morgan fly to center. Foster batting .302. We mentioned earlier 23 homers and 76 RBIs. He has tied Jimmy Rice of Boston for the major league lead in home runs and runs batted in. That in itself is a bit amazing when you consider how far behind Foster was earlier this season. in the wake of a great start by Boston's Jim Rice. Kaat in with a pitch, and Foster fouls it away. Johnny Bench, Dave Concepcion, and hopefully more will bat here in the second. Off-speed pitch is head high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Whole bunch of National League action this afternoon. We mentioned the Dodgers losing to Pittsburgh 7-6 in 10 innings. Keeson with a win over Terry Forster. Reggie Smith with his 17th home run. Foster fouls it off first base. New York beat Houston twice, 7-4 in the first game and 5-4 in the second. That second game won 11. And the Cardinals a one-run decision over San Diego at 3-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Only other night game besides ours, Atlanta at Montreal, where Rick Camp and Woody Fryman are the probable starters. 2-2 pitch to Foster, inside, full count. George with a modest 4-game hitting streak. Kaat has run the string out on the Reds left fielder, and now Kaat takes a little bit too much time to suit Foster. That will not happen very often when Jim Kaat is on the mound. Payoff pitch is ball 4. It gets through Bob Boone, and now Foster, just realizing it, runs on down to first base. I think it was ball 4. We didn't see any indication at all from Lee Wire, but Foster really started putting on the steam as he realized the ball had gotten through Boone, but that's going to go down as a walk.
I think Bob Boone had visions of maybe George making a turn at first and catching him napping and picking him off, but George not going for it.
So George leads off the second with a base on balls, bringing to the plate hot-hitting Johnny Bench. John swings and hits one to right field. That's going to be a base hit. Ball bangs against the wall on one big hop. Foster comes to third. Martin throws back to the infield. Johnny Bench with a double the other way. And the Reds have 2 in scoring position with nobody out. Really don't think Johnny Bench can swing the bat any better than he has been swinging it since the All-Star game. He's had 6 2-hit games since the break. Coming up with a couple of hits last night, and right here in the second, he goes the other way where there was wide open spaces. The defense shading him around toward left. So he has a double out of the wrong barrel, and that brings up Dave Concepcion. Foster at third, Bench at second. The Reds trailing 1-0. Davey batting .292 with 3 homers and 38 RBIs. Kaat stretches, pitches, and it's low for ball 1. Oh, Mr. Bench coming up with his 10th 2-base hit of the season. Davey fouls it off, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. David also with a hitting streak of 5 in a row. He's had 8 hits and 21 times up for a .381 batting average. And a base hit now could very well put the Reds out in front by 1. Kaat again taking a lot of time as he looks into Bob Boone. Davey backs off. Now the stretch by the left-hander and the pitch. Inside with a fastball and low. 2-1. Foster leading at third. Bench at second. Nobody out. Davey swings and hits one in the air back in right center. That's going to be deep enough to get Foster in with a tying run. Johnny Bench coming on to third base as the throw comes to third, but not in time. So Foster scores on Concepcion's fly to right, making it a 1-1 game. And with 1 away in the inning, we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
For Cincinnati Reds baseball in the capital city, listeners tune in FM 100 WRMZ, Columbus, Ohio, for every Cincinnati Reds baseball game.
Kenny Henderson now at the plate against a drawn-in Philadelphia infield. He fouls it back to the screen. RBI for Concepcion is 39th of the season. Bench now at third representing the go-ahead run. And Henderson, who hit the big seventh-inning three-run home run last night, is at the plate and watches this one go low and off the plate for a ball, 1-1. Kenny batting .241. Now 2 homers on the year. His first as a Cincinnati Red, and he's driven in 10 runs. He swings and hits it into center field. Maddox on the run. He can't get it. Johnny Bench will score. Henderson comes to second. He takes a turn on his way to third, and the throw will not be in time. A triple for Henderson, and Cincinnati has taken a 2-1 advantage. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The way this guy's swinging the bat, he's going to be awfully hard to unseat in that center field position. Three-bagger for Kenny Henderson, giving the Reds a run lead, and now it'll be Danny Driessen to try and make it a 3-1 ball game as the infield again will play in. Kaat with a stretch in the pitch, and Driessen takes a strike. One out, 2 runs across, swung on, bouncer foul at first base. Henderson will head on back to third, and Driessen will be behind on the count at 2 strikes. Inning open with Foster getting a walk. Bench double to right. Concepcion's fly ball to right field scored Foster, with Bench moving to third, and Henderson has tripled Johnny in to make it 2-1 our side. Check swing foul ball by Danny Driessen. Kaat ready with the next pitch. And it stays high for a ball, 1-2. On deck, pitcher Tommy Hume. The pitch to Driessen, swung on, pulled deep foul to right field. And the count will hold at 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Reds' first baseman, a .288 batter looking to pick up his 51st run batted in. Time call now. Richie Hebner walking toward the Philadelphia dugout. Currently had a string broke in the webbing of his first baseman's mitt, so he'll throw that in and be waiting now to get another one. Apparently they're going to have to go down to the Philadelphia clubhouse and get another first baseman's mitt for Richie Hebner. Hebner has a mitt. He's on his way back to first, and Danny Driessen will step back in. Henderson at third. 1 out on the inning. Hebner, Sizemore, Bowa, and Schmidt are playing up. Reds have scored twice and trying to get 1 more. Here's a pitch, and just misses low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swung on and bounced off the plate. That's a foul ball. Phillies will be remaining home. They've got the Houston Astros coming into town over the weekend. They'll be playing a doubleheader against Bill Burton's club tomorrow night here. Ready with a 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off again by Driessen. So Danny hanging in against Kaat and company. Trying to find a pitch he can drive here against Jim Kaat to get Kenny Henderson across with a 3rd Cincinnati run of the inning. Left-handed batter waits, swings, and fouls. Still another pitch away. We'll keep the count level at 2-2. Pitch. That's ball 3. Boone bluffs to throw down to third base. Well, Kaat now has to come to Driessen with a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Left-hander comes set, delivers, and that's ball 4 inside. So Danny Driessen draws the 2nd walk in the inning. Reds now have him on the corners, and that brings to the plate pitcher Tommy Hume, who sheds a jacket off down near the Reds dugout as he apparently has a word with manager Sparky Anderson. Mike Schmidt walking in toward the mound to have a meeting with Kaat. And now Alex Graham is walking down the line from the third base coaching box to verbally pass along instructions to the Cincinnati pitcher. Well, what are we looking for here, Joe?
Oh, Marty, I don't know whether you could look for a safety squeeze, a straight-out sacrifice. Any of three things might even leave Tom hit, but I would say some sort of a bunt would be in order. We'll see.
Sizemore and Bowa will play back at double play depth. Mike Schmidt will play in a bit at third base, and Hebner, no doubt, will be charging at first. The pitch is taken low as Hume squared around a bunt. Ball one. We're going to get some activity underway with Warren Brewster, a right-hander, loosening up in the Philadelphia bullpen. In the second, the Reds 2, the Phillies 1. One out, Henderson at third and Driessen at first. Here's a bunt off the plate and a good one. Kaat comes up with it, looks to third, throws to Hebner to get the out on Hume, and that'll be a sacrifice. 1-3. With Danny Driessen moving into scoring position and bringing to the plate Pete Rose for the second time. Pete in the first inning hit one hard, but to the glove side of second baseman Ted Sizemore, who made a nifty pickup. And let's see how they'll go now. Okay, Pete steps in. Runners at second and third. Trying to extend that hitting streak to 33 games in a row after bouncing out in the opening inning. Kaat pitches, and Rose takes a slow curve for a strike. Base hit right now would really help things out here early. Swung on and another ground to second. This is a routine play for Sizemore. And on to Hebner to end the inning. But for Cincinnati in the second, 2 runs on 2 base hits. No errors and 2 men left on. And at the end of an inning and a half, it's the Reds 2 and the Phillies 1.
The time is right. That feeling's coming through. Real beer lovers know only one beer will do. Stroll for the real beer lovers. Stroll, tastes like no other. Stroll for the real beer lovers. Everyone knows it's the beer lovers beer. Family brew for over 200 years. Real beer lovers say they go out of their way for a stroll. From one beer lover to another, Stroh.
The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Cincinnati Reds are going to be in Japan in late October on a Japanese-American Goodwill Baseball Exhibition Tour. And if you've ever dreamed of touring the Orient, here's a perfect opportunity to take that trip of a lifetime and see some great baseball, too. Barney Rapp's Reds rooters are planning to follow the Reds to Japan. Other leading travel agencies throughout Reds country are planning trips also. If you'd like details about these baseball trips to the Orient, just call or write the Reds office at Riverfront Stadium for information. Richie Hebner for openers in the bottom of the second as Tommy Hume leads Jim Kaat and the Phillies 2-1. Left-handed batting Phil's first baseman, waiting on Hume's first pitch, and it's low and inside a ball. Hebner batting .257. 9 homers this season, 1 against the Reds. He's driven in 35 runs, went hitless last night. Now the Reds are going to put an overshift to the right side on him. He swings and hits one into right center. Griffey having to run a ways for that one, and he'll make the catch as he cut in front of Kenny Henderson. Hebner out, and that'll bring up center fielder Garry Maddox. Stop by the Reds ticket agency nearest you and purchase your tickets in advance. In Dayton at Reich's downtown, in Columbus at all Central Ticket Office locations, in Lexington at Graves Cox, in Louisville at Allied Sporting Goods, and in Indianapolis at Ross and Babcock. Here's Maddox and here's Hume. A bouncer foul off third. Garry batting .289. He swings and he misses, and he's behind 2 strikes. Catcher Bob Boone in the on-deck circle swinging a bat as Hume comes with the 0-2. And it's off the plate and low for a ball. Phillies scored one in the first inning when Luzinski doubles across Mike Schmidt. Maddox with one out, fouls the pitch away. And another fine crowd here at the Vet tonight. Last night we played before 45,608. Phillies had drawn 1,364,000 and change for the season up to this point. Maddox swings, fouls, and bench hangs on, and that'll be Tommy Hume's first strikeout. Two quickly out, and here's Bob Boone. Booney hitting .251, 7 homers, 35 runs batted in. This guy does the bulk of the Philadelphia catching. Of course, Tim McCarver's behind the plate when Carlson pitches. Here's a broken bat handle shot off to the third base side of the mound. Hume fields and flips on to Danny Driessen, and that's it as the Phils go meekly out in order in the second. At the end of 2 complete, Reds lead Philadelphia 2-1.
When it's time for a change, what you'd probably like to have is a change for the better. That's why Marathon came up with new Ultra D motor oil. It is definitely a change for the better. Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a change for better gas mileage.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change for improved engine protection.
A change for the better.
New Ultra D is a change that means faster starts no matter what the temperature.
A change for the better.
Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a special blend of natural and synthetic ingredients. It's really different from conventional blends. Meaning when Ultra D gets together with the engine of your car, things do get better.
Make a change for the better with new Ultra D motor oil.
New Ultra D motor oil. A change for the better from the people who do it better. Marathon Oil Company.
Make a change for the better with new Ultra D. Make a change for the better.
The end of 2 innings of play, the Reds will run up on Philadelphia 2-1, and after a 2-run inning in the second, the Reds will try to equal or surpass that here in the third with Ken Griffey to lead things off. And here to call the play-by-play for you, Joe Nuxall.
Thank you, Marty. Griffey, Morgan, and Foster here in the third inning. Kenny in the first, a fly ball to Luzinski in left field. Griffey with a .297 batting average. 3 home runs, 27 RBIs. The Reds have had 2 hits off Kaat, both coming in the second when they scored the 2 runs. The pitch. Griff swings and pops it foul. Back to the plate, Boone off the mask, but that will drop into the seats. On 1 to count. Griffey back in. Kaat waiting on the sign from Boone. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Breaking ball. Count. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Griffey. Fastball. That's hit into left center field. Luzinski over, waiting on it, and has it. 1 out, Morgan the batter. Joe, a fly ball to Maddox in center field in the first inning. Morgan hitting .258, 8 home runs, 54 RBIs. Last night, Joe 0 for 3 and a walk, scored a run. Swing, ground ball. Sizemore at second, up, throwing to Hebner, quickly 2 away. Two down, and that brings George Foster to the plate. George started the second inning by drawing a walk from Kaat, moved his third on the double by bench, scored on Concepcion's sacrifice fly. Kaat delivers. Breaking ball down low. Ball 1. Reds leading 2-1. Phillies scoring a run in the first, the Reds scoring 2 in the second. Foster swings and misses an off-speed pitch. Not even 1 ball, 1 strike to George. Of course, George his 5th career grand slam in last night's 7-2 victory. Kaat delivers. George swings and a hard liner, 1 bouncer to Sizemore at second, throwing to Hebner, and the Reds out quickly here in the third. Nothing across. Middle of inning number 3, Cincinnati 2, Philadelphia 1.
When you want to know the ones you love and the things you love will always be secure. Make friends with tomorrow. Range insurance, to be sure. Is your stamp or coin collection insured to its full value? How about your antiques, furs, or art treasures? They could have grown greatly in value since the beginning. If lost or stolen, they could never be replaced. But it would help a lot to know you'd get a fair settlement through your Grange Insurance Inland Marine policy. Ask your Grange agent for a quote on whatever you want covered. No obligation. Grange wants to be your partner in protection. There's nothing like the feeling that you get when you know you're safe now and secure. Protected by Grange Mutual, Grange Insurance, to be sure.
In the third inning for the Phils, Ted Sizemore, Jim Kaat, and Jerry Martin will step to the plate. Sizemore hitting .217 with 7 RBIs and a double. Ted, a right-handed batter. Phils with 3 hits of Tom Hume, all 3 coming in the first inning when they scored their run. The Reds outfield playing Sizemore about straight away. Henderson shaded to right just a bit in center field. Tommy Hume winds and delivers. Sizemore takes high a ball. Hume is 17th start of the year with 1 complete game. 1-4 in last 9. He gets in with a strike to Sizemore at the knees. 1-1. Tom has won 2 straight now. 1 in relief and the start. Last time out, a complete game. 1-1 delivery. Swung on and fouled. Back to the screen. A ball, 2 strikes. Jim Kaat on deck. Pretty good hitting pitcher. 1-2 on the way. That's a check swing foul. He really got in on Sizemore, and Ted really tried to check his swing. Fouls it over the Philadelphia dugout. Count holds the ball, 2 strikes to Sizemore. Hume has the sign from bench. And again the 1-2. That's low and outside. Breaking pitch. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2. Swung on, lined into center field, a base hit. Time getting the pitch up, and Sizemore lines it to center for the 4th hit of the game for the Phils, and that'll bring Jim Kaat to the plate. Kaat hitting .111 with 4 RBIs. He's had 3 hits in 27 times to the plate. And you would think that Kaat would be bunting. We'll see. The stretch by Hume rolls down the line, and Kaat swings away and pops it foul back over our head. Sizemore at first base. No one out here in the 3rd inning. The Reds leading 2-1. Hume to the belt. Delivers. Kaat swings away again. Hits it well to center field. Going back. Henderson still going. Reaches up. Got a glove on it, but couldn't hang on. And that'll be a double for Jim Kaat. And they have runners at 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. Well, Henderson went back and got his glove on it, but could not hang on. So That'll be a double for Jim Kaat. Runners, as we said, second and third. Nobody out, and the batter, Jerry Martin. Phillies now with 5 hits in the game and 2+ innings. In the stretch and the pitch, Martin takes a fastball, a called strike. Well, we have all finals in the National League, excepting Atlanta and Montreal. Suspended game at Chicago, as we said. Time called now. Larry Shipper going to the mound to have a word with Tommy Hume. The game in Chicago suspended after 8 innings. Tied 8-8, the Giants and the Cubs. Pittsburgh beat Los Angeles 7-6. San Diego losing to St. Louis 3-2. And the Mets taking a doubleheader from Houston, 7-4 in the first game, 5-4 in the second. Shepard's still at the mound talking to Tommy Hume, and Tommy's pitches have been up. Kaat hit a high pitch, as did Ted Sizemore, and they're at second and third with nobody out. All right, Shepard back to the Cincinnati dugout. 0-1 the count to Martin. Hume waiting on the side. Now the stretch. The 0-1. Martin swings and misses. A pitch down, breaking ball. 0-2 the count. Sizemore led off the inning with a single to center and caught a double off the glove of Ken Henderson in deep center field. Hume delivers. Martin takes a half swing, but did not go far enough. 1-2. Hume ready, and now steps back off the pitching lever. A ball, 2 strikes to count to Jerry Martin. Larry Bowa, the on-deck batter. Hume sets and delivers. Martin swings and a foul tip off the mid of Johnny Bench. Oh, new life for Jerry Martin. Reds in Montreal will be facing Ross Grimsley, Dan Schatzstetter, and Steve Rogers, 2 left-handers and a right-hander. We'll be facing 4 straight left-handed pitchers. The pitch swung on and foul. That pitch up, and a good swing by Martin. Sizemore leads at third. Kaat at second. 1-2 the count to Martin. The stretch and the pitch. That's inside and gets away from Bench. Bounces out. Apparently Hume crossing John up on the pitch, and John looking behind the plate, but the ball hitting in his glove, I assume, and really couldn't tell, but bouncing out along the first baseline. So no advance, and the count evens 2-2. The count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hume sets and delivers. Martin swings and misses a breaking ball. For Hume, his second strikeout. 1 away, and Larry Bowa will be the batter. Larry, an infield single in the first inning. Oh, at the plate, Mike Schmidt moves on deck. Hume delivers, and Bowa takes high ball. Bowa hitting .295. He had a big night last night. Larry 3 hits and 5 times up, drove in a run. Reds leading 2-1 here in the 3rd inning. Hume, the pitch swung on. That's bounced to Driessen. Backhands. Hume doesn't get off the mound. Tommy Hume becoming a spectator, and it cost him. Run scores as Kaat moves on to 3rd base. Sizemore scoring. 2nd hit of the game for Larry Bowa. He picks up his 20th RBI of the year, and it's a tie ball game. That is the 6th hit of the game for the Phillies off Tommy Hume. Andy Driessen throwing far to his right to backhand the ball. Turned to first base, but nobody at all there. Now here's Mike Schmidt with runners at 1st and 3rd, a run in. And 1 out. The Reds have turned in 65 double plays. Schmidt swings and misses a fastball up and in. Hume to the belt, checks the runners, delivers. Schmidt swings and fouls, 0-2 the count. All right, Hume, the 0-2. Swung on and a foul out of the middle bench. Pitch down. Now stays at no balls, 2 strikes to Mike Schmidt. Jim Kaat, 3rd base. Larry Bowa at 1st with 1 away.
Stand by.
Henderson going back, still going back. And in the middle of the warning track, he flags it down, but scoring is Jim Kaat, 3-2. Well, Mike, after doubling deep to center in the 1st inning, RBI straightaway center field. And in Greg Luzinski, the batter.
Please stand by.
Hume, the pitch. That's a strike, a breaking ball at the knees. 1-1. Bowa leaves, the pitch on the way. Swung on, a high chopper. Morgan will take it near the bag at 2nd, step on the bag to force the ball, and that's the inning. But Philadelphia picks up 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, a runner left on base, and at the end of 3, the Phillies 3, the Reds 2.
The time is right, that feeling's coming through. Real beer lovers know only one beer will do. Stroh's for the real beer lovers. Stroh's taste like no other. Stroh's for the real beer lover. Everybody knows it's the beer lover's beer. It's family brew for over 200 years. Real beer lovers say they'd go out of their way for a Stroh's. Stroh's for the real beer lovers. Stroh's tastes like no other. Stroh's for the real beer lover. From one beer lover to another. Stroh's. Stroh's.
The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Before the Reds bat in the fourth, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Zebrites are turned on by Cincinnati Reds Baseball. Exclusively in Mid-Ohio on Zebra 100, WRMZ, Columbus.
Johnny Bench will lead it off for the Reds in the fourth inning, followed by Dave Concepcion and Ken Henderson. Johnny had double in the second inning, his 10th of the year, and scored our second run. Caught, ready, and delivers. Bench takes a curve that drops over the outside corner, called strike. Reds with two hits off Cott. He has walked two. He's low with his next pitch to Bench, and it evens at 1-1. Bench away from the plate, now steps back in. And the pitch swung on, a very high pop into shallow left. Backing out is Larry Bowa, waiting on it, and he has it one away. One down, and Dave Concepcion, the batter. Dave in a sacrifice fly in the second inning to score George Foster from third base. For Dave, that was his 39th RBI of the year. Dave hitting .292 with 3 home runs, now 39 RBIs. Concepcion swings and fouls, taking a real rip at that one. Well, 9 years ago tonight, Neil Armstrong became the first man to step on the moon. Change up high and outside, 1-1. Hit one up there, it'd really go, wouldn't it? You might hit a home run on the moon. Swing and a fly ball to center, and Maddox right in his very tracks makes the play. Two away, and Ken Henderson, the batter. Kenny a triple to center field, a ball that just out of the reach of Maddox. The pitch to Henderson, he takes a fastball for a called strike. Phillies leading 3-2. Hot back to the plate, and he gets the outside corner again with a fastball. 0-2 the count. The pitch, that's way outside, the fastball, and it goes 1 ball, 2 strikes to Henderson. Todd has his sign. Now time call. Todd takes just a little too much time. Now Henderson back in. And the pitch. Swung on. That's hit hard to center field. Maddox is there, though, and he has it. And that's the inning. Todd has now retired 8 straight batters. Nothing across, and it's the middle of the fourth. Phillies 3, Reds 2.
The big red machine is rolling down the street with big red Smokies, the big league treat.
Con's Big Red Smokies, the big hit at Riverfront Stadium. Big Red Smokies, The smoked sausage links that are mildly seasoned and so delicious. Kahn's Big Red Smokies are made only from fine cuts of tender beef and juicy pork. Never any fillers. If you can't go to the game, get them at your favorite store. Your family will love them. Big Red Smokies. And don't forget Kahn's Wieners and Brats, also served at Riverfront Stadium. Get all three. Great on the grill, mealtime, anytime. Try the triple treat that can't be beat. Kahn's Wieners, Brats, and Big Red Smokies. Kahn's Big Red Smokies.
For the Phillies in the fourth inning, it'll be Richie Hebner to lead it off, followed by Garry Maddox and Bob Boone. Hebner in the second inning, a fly ball to Griffey in right center field. Richie hitting .257 with 9 home runs and 35 RBIs. Tommy Hume has struck out 2. The Phillies have had 6 hits off Tom and 3 runs, all of them earned. Hume delivers. Hebner swings and pulls it deep down the right field line. A fair ball, and the Phillies lead it 4-2. 10th home run of the year by Hebner. Schmidt, Luzinski, Hebner, all with RBIs. The Phillies leading it 4-2. 7 hits now for Philadelphia off Hume. 4 of them for extra bases. Schmidt, Luzinski, and Scott all doubles, and now the home run. The pitch to Maddox. Swung on, that's line down the right field line. That's extra bases. Griffey over. Maddox on his way to second. Griffey has it and returns it to the infield, and 2 pitches here in the inning, a double and a home run. And we'll probably get some activity down in the Cincinnati bullpen. For Maddox, his 19th double of the year. And probably Pedro Bourbon will start throwing. We'll wait and see. Here's Bob Boone. Boone bounced back to Tommy Hume in the second inning to end the inning. Hume the stretch in the pitch, and Boone takes it low ball. Manny Sarmiento, it looks like, throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. 4-2, the Phillies lead. They got Maddox at second base with no one out. They've scored here in the inning. The pitch. Boone, a check swing. It's inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Bench hangs the sign. Hume sets, looks back at Maddox, delivers. Boone swings on it and fouls. 2-1. Bench now trotting out to the mound to have a word with Tommy Hume. And Jim Lawnborg will get in some throwing down in the Philadelphia bullpen. Manny Sarmiento loosening in the Cincinnati bullpen. No activity as yet in the American League. Boston and Milwaukee, New York, Minnesota, Baltimore, Chicago, and Texas at Kansas City. That's the schedule in the American League. Hume ready in the 2-1 delivery. Swung on and missed as Boone loses his bat and goes over to the Cincinnati dugout. The count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inning started off with Hebner hitting the first pitch for a home run. The second pitch of the inning, Maddox doubled along the right field line. He's at second base. Count 2-2 to Bob Boone. Hume to the belt. And his pitch. That's just inside. A full count now to Bob Boone. Ted Sizemore on deck. Batting Phillies at second. And the payoff on the way. Boone swings and chops it foul over the box seats beyond the Cincinnati dugout. On holding 3-2. The stretch, and again the 3-2. Swung on, that's hit deep to left center field. Henderson on the run. He'll not catch up with that one. That one bounces out of the ballpark. A ground rule double, and the Phils lead it 5-2. Boone going back. Apparently, he did not touch first base, and now moves back to second. Well, Bob Boone missed first base, and the ball bouncing out of the ballpark for a ground rule double, and here comes Sparky. That'll be it for Tommy Hume. For Bob Boone, his 36th RBI of the year and his 11th double. And the Reds leading 5-2. And Sparky going to the mound and talking with Lee Wire, and that's going to be it. Well, the Phils with 9 hits off Tommy Hume. They've had 5 doubles and a home run in those 9 hits. Wire and Anderson talking just in front of the mound, and they haven't gone to the Reds bullpen as yet. What they might be arguing about, we don't know. Spark seems to be getting a bit heated with Lee Wire over apparently some technicality, but cannot think what it might be. Tommy Hume has not been taken out of the game yet. Wire might be that Wire signaled for Sarmiento right away, and Sparky is saying, I didn't tell you I wanted him right away. Now Spark pointing behind the plate. Now Spark really getting heated, and now Wire and Sparky going at it pretty good, and I'm imagining that Wire said he wanted to bring the pitcher in. Now, it's just a calculated guess, but he is really hot now with Lee Wire. And whether... Now, finally, Spark points to the bullpen, and that's going to be it for Tommy Hume, and now Sparky talking with Harry Windelstead, the second base umpire, and I don't know what it could be, but it's pretty heated for Spark with the umpiring crew. So we're going to have Manny Sarmiento come on in relief of Tommy Hume here in the 4th inning. The Phils leading it by a score of 5-2, and we have a break in the action here at Philadelphia. We'll be back after this word.
Hi, this is Nancy Seaver.
And I'm Nancy's husband, Tom.
When we first left New York to live in Cincinnati, we wondered what we'd do for entertainment when Tom wasn't pitching for the Reds.
Luckily, we found the answer right away at Kings Island.
That's right, Kings Island.
You see, most people think of Kings Island as just the best theme park in the entire Midwest.
And while the park's unbeatable, Kings Island is really a total vacation center.
Our family lives at the Jack Nicklaus Golf Center, which is part of the entertainment complex. At the Kings Island Inn, adjacent to the park, you can enjoy swimming and tennis. Or if you like the outdoors, try the Kings Island Campground. Plus, this summer, the National College Football Hall of Fame opens as a new part of Kings Island.
Wow, there's really something fun for everyone. So plan now to come to Cincinnati and watch Tom and the Reds. Bring the entire family and make it a doubleheader. The Reds and Kings Island.
Kings Island. You know, it's just about the best thing to happen to Cincinnati since Tom Seaver.
Oh, Tom.
Manny Sarmiento, the new pitcher for the Reds, here in the fourth inning with runners at first and second. Nobody out and a run in. Or 2 runs in, I should say, and a runner at second base, Bob Boone. Ted Sizemore will be the batter. Tommy Hume worked 3+ innings, allowing 9 hits, striking out 5 runs, all of them earned. Sizemore has been up once, singled to center field, and scored the second Philadelphia run in the 3rd inning. Sarmiento making his 39th appearance of the year. And he has won 7 and lost 5 with a 276 earned run average. He's worked 87 2/3 innings, allowing 57 hits, striking out 47 and walking 31. Now Anderson back out to talk with Lee Wire. And what it has to do with, we really cannot tell you. He's pointed behind home plate. He's pointed into the dugout. And what it's over, no idea. Now Spark goes back to the Reds dugout, and we're ready to go. Bob Boone at second base with nobody out. 5-2, the Phillies lead. They've scored 2 here in the inning. The stretch by Sarmiento, and his first pitch to Sizemore. That's swung on and fouled out of play. Off to the right side. Sarmiento looking for the sign. He has it, and the stretch. Looks back at Boone at second. And the 0-1. Sizemore squares the bunt and fouls. Count 0-2 now to Ted Sizemore. Pitcher Jim Kaat on deck. Well, they're underway at Montreal in the 3rd inning. Braves leading the Expos 3-2. Sarmiento ready. And the 0-2 pitch. That swung on is soft liner to Driessen. He looks over to second as Danny picks it off, but Boone alertly back. On the way, and Jim Kaat the batter. Kaat doubled to deep center field in the 3rd inning. Well, hold him right there. We got 5 more swings at him. Sarmiento the stretch. And the pitch to Kaat. He swings and fouls straight back to the screen. Reds in Montreal tomorrow night. It'll be Ross Grimsley on the mound. Now Kaat backs away from the plate. Apparently something in his eye. Steps back in. Sarmiento ready. And delivers. Kaat swings and a foul tip. 0-2. Bob Boone at second with 1 out. Phillies have scored 2 here in the inning. Lead at 5-2. Manny sets. And now steps back off the pitching river. Again, the stretch by Sarmiento. Here's the 0-2. Kaat swings and misses an off-speed pitch. And for Manny, his first strikeout. 2 away now, and the batter, Jerry Martin. Martin 0 for 2. He has grounded to short and struck out in 2 times up. Lee Wire looking into the Reds dugout, and what that's for, we don't know. Boone still at second. 2 away now as Sarmiento delivers to Jerry Martin. Martin takes it a strike call. Reds and Phils have played 7 times this year. The Reds winning 4. After tonight, we'll have 4 left, and all 4 of them in Cincinnati next weekend, a night or Friday night, Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Martin swings, ground ball. Concepcion has it deep and short. Long throw to Driessen, got him by a step. A good job by Sarmiento. Comes on to retire the side for Philadelphia. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. A runner left on, and after 4 innings, it's the Phillies 5 and the Reds 2.
When the sun's up high.
4 inning totals show the Reds 2 runs on, 2 hits, no errors. The Phils 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. For the Reds, it'll be Danny Driessen to lead it off in the 5th inning, and back to bring the action, Marty Brenneman.
Thank you, Joe. Danny 0 for 1, or rather had a base on balls in the 2nd inning. In fact, he's the last man to reach base against Jim Kaat. The lefty has retired 8 batters in a row, and what at one time was a 2-1 deficit. Kaat on the short end of the score now has turned into a 5-2 Philadelphia lead as they've scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings. Still waiting for Bob Boone to come out of the Philadelphia dugout, and now Barry Foote comes out. He's going to warm up Jim Kaat as Driessen moves back to the on-deck circle. Tommy Hume did not have it tonight, going only 3 innings, giving up 9 hits and 5 runs, all of them earned, struck out 2. So Kaat throwing down to Foote as we wait on Bob Boone, the Philadelphia catcher. Got rain delays in a couple of American League cities. Boston at Milwaukee. Bill Lee and Andy Replogle, the scheduled starters there. That's being held up because of rain. Likewise, Baltimore at Chicago, where Dennis Martinez will oppose Steve Stone. In other American League games, the Yankees at Minnesota. Ron Guidry, 13-1 against rookie Darrell Jackson. And Texas at Kansas City, Doyle Alexander against Dennis Leonard. Phillies lead by 3 as the Reds bat now in the 5th inning. Boone's behind the plate. Jim Kaat delivers, and Driessen fouls it to the screen. Strike 1. Danny not swinging the bat at all well of late. He's batting only .288, and he swings and fouls this one back. We say only, but of course, for the most part of this season, he's been up over the 300 mark. Behind 2 strikes. Sarmiento on deck, then Pete Rose. A pitch from Kaat, swung on, a check swing popper. Backpedaling is the shortstop Boa, and he gathers it in. So Kaat has now set down 9 in a row, and Sarmiento will stand in with 1 away. I bet Manny will be getting his cuts up there. The first pitch is down low, ball 1. He is still without a hit this season. Has been up 13 times officially. Strike is called. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's bounced foul off the plate and down beyond the Philadelphia dugout. Reds came up with both of their hits in the 2-run second, a double by Bench and a triple by Henderson. Here's a swing and a line drive to center, but there is Mr. Maddox, and he makes the catch. Balls have been hit hard off Jim Kaat in this game. That is normally the case when he's on the mound, but they've been hit at people. And now Pete Rose will make attempt number 3 to extend his hitting streak to 33 straight games. The 32 consecutive games that Pete has hit in, the third longest batting streak in the National League in this century. Tommy Holmes, of course, with a record of 37 in 1945 and 33 by Rogers Hornsby of the Cardinals in 1922. First pitch is a high curve for a ball. Pete takes this one, and that's a bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. National League leader in base hits with 119 and hoping to make it 120 right here and keep the string alive. Kaat pitches. Pete swings. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to be gloved by Sizemore. Throwing and not in time. A base hit. Fine play by Ted Sizemore, but the throw, Rose beats at first base. And he has now hit in 33 consecutive ball games. And as was the case last night, they come to their feet in a standing ovation here at Veterans Stadium for the Reds captain. So 56 years ago, Rogers Hornsby batted in 33 straight games with the Cardinals in 1922, and here in 1978, Pete Rose has done it. Now Ken Griffey with 2 away in the inning and Rose aboard, and he takes the ball low. At least the suspense did not go as far as it went last night. A 9th inning bunt single kept it alive. There's a fastball letter high, strike call by Lee Wire, 1-1. I think Sizemore made a nice play on that ball. Griffey swings and lines one over shortstop into left center. Greg Luzinski over to play the ball. Pete takes a turn, and he'll hold at second base. So the Reds have put back-to-back 2-out singles together, and the tying run coming to the plate in Joe Morgan. Joe is certainly due for a hit. He is 0 for the series, went 0 for 3, walked and scored a run last night, and has flied to center and bounced out to Sizemore in this game. Morgan wondering himself when that next home run is going to come. Curveball gets away from Boone and rolls to the Philadelphia dugout. Both runners advance as the ball hit the little ledge there in front of the dugout and bounced away. Pete goes to third. Griffey moves to second. So Jim Kaat and company helping us out a little bit if we can make it a 3rd straight base hit. That'll be a wild pitch charged against Kaat. One-0 pitch taken for a strike. Morgan's last home run came on the 10th of June against the Pirates and Bert Blyleven. Rose at third, Griffey now at second, and strike 2 is called. Warren Brewster has started up throwing for the second time for the Phillies. Here's a bouncer foul, and the count will hold on Morgan at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Driessen popped up. Sarmiento lined to center, but Rose had an infield hit back of second, and Griffey is single to left center, both moving into scoring position on the wild pitch. Kaat with a stretch and the pitch, and that's just high. Squares things at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillies lead is 5-2. We're in the top of the 5th inning at Veterans Stadium. Morgan swings and hits it into right center field. Racing back is Maddox on the warning track. He can't get it. 1 run is in. Griffey is in. Morgan comes to second with a 2-run double, and it's a 1-run ball game. Tell you, from our vantage point, it looked like Garry Maddox would catch that ball with ease.
Marty, I think the ball really fooled Garry a little bit. I thought it looked like a ball hit well, but an easy fly ball, but that ball seemed to really carry out that way, and of course, Maddox almost got to it anyway, the ball hitting the fence, but the ball carried quite well.
That it did. A 2-run double for Morgan, giving him 56 runs batted in. And now here's George Foster. He's walked and scored. He's grounded out to second. Looks like this is going to be one of those nights. Pitch. Foster takes a high-hanging curveball. All the action coming after 2 men had been retired. 2 singles and a double to drive in a pair. Number 8 standing out at second base, carrying the tying run if Foster can get him in. George swings, line drive, base hit right field. Morgan comes around third base. Here comes Martin with a throw to the plate. George heading home with a tying run. He's in, and we've got a brand new ball game. Foster getting his 77th run batted in on a single to right field. So the Reds have struck for 3 runs in the 5th inning to pull even at 5-5, and Danny Ozark bounces out of the Philadelphia dugout, and I would imagine that is going to be it for one Jim Kaat. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network. Now Danny Ozark has taken the ball from Jim Kaat. That's all for him, and coming now to the Vet Stadium mound will be right-hander Warren Brewster. The Reds racking Kaat up with 4 consecutive hits after 2 men were out. To score 3 times, 2 of them on a double by Morgan. The tying run coming in on the base hit just delivered a moment ago to right field by George Foster. So we've got another break in the action here in the 5th inning as the Philadelphia Phillies go to changing pitchers for the first time, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. New pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, right-hander Warren Brewster, who's won 2 and lost none this season. Brewster has appeared in 28 games, all in relief, carries a .232 earned run average. In his last 5 games has won 1 and lost none. 9 innings, has given up 7 base hits to drop his earned run average to 2.32 on the year. He's appeared against the Reds in a couple of games, both in losing Philadelphia efforts on the 3rd of May in a game where the Reds won at Riverfront 12-3. Brewster pitched 2 innings of hitless, runless ball, and then on the 12th of May when the Reds shut him out 3-0 behind Bonham and Moscow, he worked 2 innings, allowed a couple of hits and 3 strikeouts. Johnny benched the batter with 2 down and Foster at first, and it's low ball. The Reds 5, the Philadelphia Phillies 5. Then swings and sends a fly ball into right center. Jerry Martin moving over into the gap, and he makes a catch. In the inning for the Reds, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And after 4.5 innings of play, the Reds 5 and the Phillies 5.
The Stroh Brewery is delighted to give you the exciting details of another big weekend in town with our hard-hitting Reds. Friday, July 28th, Saturday, July 29th, and Sunday, July 30th. This baseball extravaganza includes hotel accommodations for 2 nights, 3 delicious meals, reserved seats at spacious Riverfront Stadium. There'll be 4 big games and 2 Stroh's hospitality parties where you can get plenty of that good cold Stroh's beer along with music and dancing. Yes, another baseball weekend, fans. A chance to get with it, relax, and cheer for the Reds. So be sure to get in on the action. It's just $79.95 per person. For complete details on this sports weekend, contact the Barney Rapp Agency at 513-381-7277. Get a pencil now and write that number down. 513-381-7277, the Barney Rapp Agency. Bring your family, bring your friends, and don't miss it. We at Stroh's hope you can make it, because it's going to be great, just like Stroh's beer.
Cincinnati Reds 580 Gift Shop has lots of great gift items and souvenirs, and we want to remind our listeners that all the 580 things we talk about here on the air may also be ordered by mail. The Reds have compiled a complete mail order list of gift items and souvenirs. Write for a copy. Send to Cincinnati Reds 580 Gift Shop, care of Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. Larry Bowa will lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for Philadelphia in a seesaw ball game tonight. Phillies led 1-0 at the end of 1. It was 2-1 Reds after 2. 3-2 Phillies after 3. 5-2 Phillies through 4 complete, and now 5-5 as we're halfway through this Thursday night encounter with Danny Ozark's club. Larry Bowa 2 for 2 on the night, swings and fouls at the plate. He's had 2 infield hits. 1 to short in the 1st inning, and 2 first base in the 3rd on a grounder fielded wide of the bag by Driessen with a run scoring. So Boa's having quite some series with 5 hits, raising his total on the year to 107 and a .299 batting average. He lines one into shallow center. Henderson coming hard. He made the catch. Fine play by Kenny Henderson. Larry Bowa having what would have been a 3rd straight hit taken away on a fine catch in shallow center field by Henderson, who went down on his knees to play it. And now both Foster and Griffey going over to check on their teammate to make sure he's all right. Looks like Kenny hit that AstroTurf quite hard, especially down on his left knee as he picked it off. Here's Mike Schmidt with 1 out. Schmidt is 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. He doubled to center field and scored in the first. Swung on, bounced to third. Rose make. No, it goes right by. Ball apparently hit in the crease of the AstroTurf at third base and stayed down as it went underneath Rose's glove and into left field. Well, I'll tell you, this field can be a veritable obstacle course at times in terms of the tricky bounces or the bounce that doesn't come about, as the case might be. We saw a ball hit in a crease out in left field last night that almost kicked by Foster. That'll be scored a single for Schmidt. Here's Greg Luzinski now. He swings and he misses, and the Bull had a home run cut on that pitch, I'll tell you. Strike 1. This might be the only park in baseball where the fans react negatively when one of their own players is credited with a base hit, if there seems to be some question about it. Fans booed a bit when it was flashed hit on the board for Mike Schmidt. Outside to Luzinski, a ball and a strike. Now Jim Lonborg getting in some throwing in the Philadelphia bullpen. The Reds and the Phillies are knotted at 5 runs apiece. Schmidt has singled after Boa has been retired. Infield looks for the ground ball as Sarmiento stops at the belt. The pause in the pitch, and Luzinski takes strike 2. Fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phillies have dropped 5 out of the last 6 games. They returned home from a road trip last night after being beaten 4 out of 5 games, and of course enjoyed a 2-0 lead behind Carlton until the 7th when Henderson homered with 2 aboard, and then Foster, in his own words, provided the icing on the cake with a grand slam in the 8th. Reds won it 7-2 going away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the waiting Luzinski. Pitch. Outside, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Richie Hebner, who hit a home run his last time up, is on deck. Sarmiento taking a lot of time against a man who has crushed 22 home runs. There's a throw to first, and Schmidt is back. Now the break-even pitch to Greg Luzinski. And that is low. The ball bounces out of the net of Johnny Bench. Full count. So we'll keep a watchful eye over at first base on Mike Schmidt to see what he might be doing on this next pitch. Cincinnati bullpen quiet. Manny sights the sign and ready with a payoff. Schmidt holds, and that swung on and popped up off first base. I don't believe there'll be a play for Driessen, who's over at the railing, and the ball falls back away from him into the box seat. Count holding, 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's outfield bunching to power alleys on Luzinski, thus giving him a lot of room on both the left and right field foul lines. Sarmiento kicks and fires. Schmidt goes, and that's ball 4. So with one out, Phillies posing a threat with runners at first and second, bringing to the plate first baseman Hebner. Get your gang together for the final team night of the baseball season. It'll be the Reds and the Padres Friday night, August 4th. And young persons through age 19 may purchase $4 reserve seats for only $2. So mark that date down, Friday, August 4th, the final team night of the year. The Reds take on the San Diego Padres. Dave Concepcion has come and gone. He went into the mound to talk with Manning. Hebner 1 for 2. He led off the 4th inning and hit Tommy Hume's first pitch down the right field line to stay there for his 10th home run. Runners leading at first and second with one out, and Hebner takes the breaking pitch low and inside. Sarmiento having to pitch himself out of a 5th inning jam and keep the score tied at 5 runs apiece. Now the 1-0 to the plate, and Hebner pulls it into right field. Ken Griffey cannot get it. Ball goes through him. Mike Schmidt rounds third. He comes home with a tie-breaking run. Luzinski to third. They'll hold him. And at second base with a 2-base hit is Richie Hebner as the Phillies take a 6-5 advantage. Hit a sinking line drive into right field that Griffey unsuccessfully tried to shoestring. The ball skipping by him to the wall, and Hebner having a big night. The Phillies now lead by a run and have him at second and third with still only one away for Garry Maddox. Maddox is double and 2 times up. He scored a run, and they're going to intentionally walk him and load the bases for catcher Bob Boone. This will be the second walk allowed by Sarmiento in the inning. He walked Greg Luzinski. Now ball 4 fills him up with Phillies. Third time this season that Manny has been out against the Philadelphia club, and first 2 times out he pitched very well. Back on the 3rd of May, 1 inning, gave up a base hit. And then on the 13th of May, pitched 1 inning, walked a batter, and struck out a batter to gain credit for a win. Now Johnny Bench running out to the mound to talk with his pitcher as Bob Boone waits at the plate. Boone is grounded to the box. He has double a run across. He launched one to deep left center that bounced over the wall for a ground rule double, scoring Maddox in the last inning. So no sooner do the Reds come back to tie it up with 3 in the top of the inning than Philadelphia has fractured the tie with 1 run and hoping to get many more with the bases loaded. Manny will work out of the stretch. He sends in the pitch, and Boone takes the strike away. In the 6th inning at Montreal, Braves lead the Expos 3-2. As we mentioned, that's the only other night game going on in the National League. All the rest of the action was this afternoon. Dodgers lost 7-6 to the Pirates, and the Giants and the Cubs game was suspended because of darkness in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's strike 2 call. Manny trying to get out of it with only 1 run as right-hander Pedro Borbon starts throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Tommy Hume started. He went 3+, giving up 5 of the Philadelphia 6 runs and 9 of their 11 hits. but was taken off the hook when the Reds scored 3 in the top of the 5th inning to tie it up. Luzinski third, Hebner second, Maddox at first. 2 strikes on Boone, and the pitch. Outside, a ball. Bob Boone with 7 homers, 36 RBIs, batting .253. Sarmiento glancing over to third where Luzinski has his lead, and the 1-2 delivery. This is hit in the air, back of first, in foul ground. Driessen racing back, trying to catch up with it, and he can't. Ball takes one big bounce and kicks back up into the stand. Talking about the Philadelphia attendance, the Phillies are one of 8 National League clubs to show an increase in their 1978 attendance over last year's pace. The Reds included among those 8. The league as a whole is up some 4%, with the American League ahead by 5%. So Major League attendance, based on the increase, is booming in 1978. Boone fouls it back. On deck hitter Ted Sizemore picks it up and throws it out of play. Phillies have scored 1 time, lead 6-5. Schmidt single after the first man had been retired. Luzinski walked. Hebner double to right, scoring Schmidt. And Maddox was given an intentional walk. Boone hanging in, although trailing on the count 1-2. That's right-hander with a stretch motion, the check of the runners, and the pitch. And he struck him out swinging. And his second strikeout, and now he's got to get Ted Sizemore and keep it at a 1-run deficit. Ted is singled and lined out to first base. 11 hits for the Phillies. They've had hits in every inning with the exception of the second. And they've gotten them in bunches. 3 in the first, 3 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and a couple so far in the 5th. Sizemore out for a long, long time with that broken hand suffered against the Houston Astros early in the year. He swings and bounces to third, rose gloves, and steps on the bag for the inning-ending force out on Richie Hebner. Phillies get a run, however, on 2 hits with 3 left. And after 5 complete, Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 6-5.
I know a friend when I see one. And I know a good thing when I get it. I know where to go when I need a helping hand. That's why I've got a friend who's a marathon man.
Friends can add a lot to your life. That's why when you're taking care of something important like your car, it's good to do business with somebody you know by his first name. Somebody who takes you and your car personally and treats it like it was his own. Somebody you ought to know. Your Marathon Man.
Go get together with a man who do his best. Go be your Marathon Man.
Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better. And we do.
Joe Nuttall, Marty Brenneman back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia as we head into the 6th inning of a wild, freewheeling affair tonight. Final time this season in regular season play that the Reds and the Phillies will hook up in the city of brotherly love, and the Reds are trying to make it 2 straight over this Philadelphia team before heading on to Montreal as Mike Lacoste makes his first Major League start tomorrow night against left-hander Ross Grimsley, who the Reds lit up in a big way earlier this week at Riverfront Stadium. Dave Concepcion, Kenny Henderson, and Danny Driessen to face Warren Brewster, who now stands to be the winning pitcher in this game if he can make the one-run Philadelphia lead stand up. But on this kind of night, you have the inkling that the 11 runs that have come across the plate so far is not the end of it. Davey has had a sacrifice fly and has also flied out to center, so he's 0 for 1. Brewster winds, pitches. Davey check swings a foul over the Philadelphia dugout and into the seats. Base hit Davey had last night gave him exactly 100 hits on the season. That's the ball outside. We talked last night about what a good job the Philadelphia bullpen has done this season. Last night it had an off night. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tug McGraw had his problems. Ron Reed had bigger problems. It was Reed who served up the grand slam pitch to George Foster after they loaded him up against McGraw. Inside, 3 balls and a strike. Davey a pitch away from becoming a base runner. Brewster needs to throw strikes now as he's fallen behind at 3-1. And this one is bounced over the head of Schmidt. Down the left field line. Luzinski coming up on the ball. Davey takes a turn. He's going to try to get 2. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Double for Concepcion. That was a high bouncer that cleared Schmidt. And Luzinski with a good throw to second, but still late in getting the sliding Concepcion. So just like that, the Reds have the tying run at second. And the batter is Kenny Henderson. He tripled the center in the second to pick up an RBI and fly it out hard to Maddox in the 4th inning. Kenny turning around as a left-handed hitter for the first time tonight. He bunts third base side, but fouls it off. So the Phillies have had 11 hits. The Reds have had 7. Cincinnati got a total of 8 last night as the Phillies out-hit us 10-8. Pitch on the way. Henderson swings through and does not get it. Strike 2. Inside a ball. Well, the Reds can come back and win this one. They will draw to within a game and a half of the Giants and will open up a game and a half lead over third place L.A. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Base hit for Kenny Henderson. Here comes a runner rounding third. Davey reaches home, and we're tied up again at 6-6. I don't think you could blame Kenny Henderson for wanting to play a whole lot of games in this ballpark. It gives him 5 RBIs in 2 nights, a couple in this game. And now Danny Driessen will bat off Brewster for the first time. He's walked, he's popped to short. Swing and a miss. That's strike 2. It got the inside corner. Driessen taking a pitch. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody throwing in the bullpen, so Sarmiento will be up hitting after Driessen. And this one just off the plate for a ball. You may well see the former Red Raleigh Eastwick before this one's over with. Swing and a foul that Boone hangs on to, and Driessen is struck out. That's the first strikeout for Warren Brewster. And Sarmiento will be up for the second time in as many innings. He hit the ball hard, but right at Garry Maddox in the 5th. And look for Sarmiento to probably try and bunt Kenny Henderson at the second base for Pete Rose, who will be coming up next. One out, a run in. Back-to-back hits off Brewster here in the inning. A double by Concepcion, a single by Henderson. Manny squares and takes a high fastball. Alex Gramus going through the ritual of flashing the sign to the runner at first base. Schmidt comes in from third as Manny bunts through, actually fouled it. It'll be a ball and a strike. Brewster ready with a 1-1 to his opposite number, and Sarmiento fouls this one off. Or did he? Quickly going after the ball is Boone as Henderson moves up to second. Now, was that a foul ball, or was it a ball that got away from Boone? Apparently, that's the case. Well, we watched Sarmiento's reaction, and he showed a bit of disgust, indicating that he fouled the ball, but that was not the case at all. He bunted through the pitch, and it got away from Boone. So Henderson now at second. Manny swings away and grounds it foul off third. That'll be a pass ball charged against Bob Boone. Count holding, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sarmiento, a soft one-hopper hit to second. Sizemore looks Henderson back and throws Sarmiento out. 2 down. That'll bring up Pete for the 4th time. After going hitless his first 2 trips to the plate, he extended his hitting streak to 33 games in a row with an infield hit back of second in the 5th. Like Tug McGraw is throwing now in the Philadelphia bullpen, or Randy Lurch, a left-hander. There's a strike. Henderson carries a go-ahead run if Rose can get him in. Pete takes it outside. A ball and a strike. Inning number 6 from Philadelphia. The Reds and the Phillies are locked up at 6 runs apiece. Here's a swing and a fly ball hit to left. Luzinski toward the line, tracking it, makes a catch, and ends the inning. 1 run, 2 base hits for the Reds, 1 left. After 5.5, Cincinnati 6 and the Phillies 6.
Here's some straight talk from Heat Kit Electronics at 2500 Morse Road. Heat Kit is the largest manufacturer of electronic kits. Not toys, but high-quality units that compare with the finest names. Heat Kit features a full line of audio components, the finest television to be found anywhere, full line of amateur radio equipment, test equipment and instrumentation for the service, bench, and lab, PA systems, instrument amplifiers, and speaker systems, and automobile accessories from digital clocks to service test equipment. And for the boating buffs, Heat Kit carries radio telephones, fish spotters, direction finders, and depth sounders. Heat Kit at 2500 Morse Road. Open Tuesday through Saturday at 9:30. Call 475-7200 and order your free catalog. Tell them WRMZ sent you. That's 475-7200. Heat Kit.
A lot of great baseball is coming up for Reds fans at Riverfront Stadium in the last 2 months of the season. The Phillies, the Padres, and the Braves visit in late July and early August. Then later in August, it's 3 games with the Cardinals, a big weekend with the Cubs, and then 3 dates for the Pirates. Looking ahead to September, the Reds will face all 5 rivals in the Western Division, including the Giants for weekend games September 9th and 10th, and the Dodgers September 26th, 27th, and 28th. Make plans now to be on hand and purchase your tickets in advance. Tug McGraw throwing down in the Philadelphia bullpen as Tim McCarver bats for pitcher Brewster here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sarmiento having a rough go of it in the 5th. He delivers to the left-handed batting McCarver low inside a ball. Tim, the man behind the plate for the Phillies last night, had a couple of base hits. He's batting .267. No homers and 5 RBIs. That's up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Manning needing a strike here against McCarver, who's right out over top of the plate, and this one is cut on and fouled straight back. On deck and due up next, leadoff batter Jerry Martin, to be followed by shortstop Larry Bowa. Well, the station ID coming up for our stations along the network line after McCarver finishes hitting. Here's ball 3, 3-1. Sarmiento hoping to post his 8th victory of the season. He's won 7 and lost 5. More decisions than anybody else out of the Reds bullpen. And here's a high pop-up that'll be playable up the third base line. Johnny Bench and Pete Rose. Pete calls Bench off the ball and makes the catch. Now we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Cincinnati Reds baseball is yours on Zebra 100, WRMZ, Columbus, Ohio, the home of the Reds for Central Ohio.
Jerry Martin in now with 1 away as we go back to the Philadelphia top of the order. Martin is hitless in 3 tries with 2 groundouts to shortstop and sandwiched in between a third-inning strikeout swinging. He pops it up on a bunt attempt, and that one will carry into the seats off the left of the plate. Seen 2 different people in right field in as many games. They had Cardinal out there last night. Martin tonight. Big McBride, the regular right fielder, suffered a hand injury Monday night in Houston. Sprained his right wrist diving back into second base. Bouncing ball, shortstop Dave Concepcion as it go off of his glove into left field. That was a tough one to play, a high bouncer, and that'll be scored a base hit for Jerry Martin. Davey had to go off to his right into the hole, and the ball came up on him, hit off the end of the leather, and went on into left field. So Martin with his first hit and base hit number 12 for the Phillies, bringing up Bowa. Talking about McBride, had that wrist reevaluated and x-rayed by team physician Dr. Philip Marone today at Methodist Hospital here in Philadelphia. X-rays for a fracture were negative. Apparently, McBride's condition has improved. Now the pitch to Bowa, swung on, line drive, base hit to right field. Boy, does he have a bat full of them. Here comes Martin, rounding second on his way to third, and going to third base. The ball gets off Rose, and can Sarmiento save it from going to the dugout? He did. In a cloud of dust, Rose and Martin went down. The ball headed toward the dugout. Then he dove after it and apparently got his glove on the ball to keep it from going in. But Larry Bowa, meanwhile, moved to second base on the attempted outplay at third. I'll tell you, Cincinnati pitching simply cannot get Bowa out. So the Phillies are in business again. Second and third, 1 down, and Mike Schmidt will be the batter. On the mound by Johnny Bench and Dave Concepcion as they look into the dugout to see what Sparky Anderson might want to do with Mike Schmidt. But really, in this situation, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Schmidt, the batter, Luzinski on deck. What do you do in a tie ball game? Pedro Bourbon has gotten up to begin throwing once again. And the decision is to walk Schmidt and load him up. has had nothing but problems. They are walking Schmidt intentionally, meaning that Luzinski will be coming up with the bases loaded. And right now, we've got double barrel action in our bullpen. Tomlin has joined Bourbon. The only routine inning that the Phillies have had tonight was in the second, when Tommy Hume retired Hebner, Maddox, and Boone in order. Well, they've got him loaded with one away. And here's a man they like to have at the plate in situations such as this, Greg Luzinski. He has doubled, hit into a force play, and drawn a walk. Sarmiento studying the sign. Flash by Johnny Bench. The stretch. And the pitch to Luzinski is on the way, and he swings and pops it in the air back in shallow right center. Going back, Morgan coming in. Griffey is dropped. The ball gets away from Griffey, and now he recovers and gets a quick throw to the plate as one run scores, and Philadelphia leads 7-6. Field was playing in deep as well they should have been. And Greg just flared one over the infield.
Well, I think really, Marty, Joe's legs are on. I believe he might have gotten to that ball, but Kenny did not get a good break on it. And you know what I think? I think Sparky's been thrown out of the game. I don't know. Larry Shepard's going to the mound and goes back to the fourth inning. When Wire went over the Reds dugout and give a very light motion as to somebody leaving, and I have a feeling that Spark's been thrown out of the ballgame.
Well, I tend to agree with you now that Larry Shepard has come out to change pitchers, although I'll tell you, if he has been thrown out, it's the best kept secret in this ballpark because we had no official notification of it, but Larry Shepard never comes to the mound to take out a pitcher, although he has done it now, so that can only indicate that Sparky was, in fact, thrown out in the fourth inning. Dave Tomlin is a man who will come on now to work against left-handed hitting Richie Hebner. Sarmiento goes 2 1/3 innings. He gives up 5 base hits and so far 2 runs. Struck out 2, walked 3, 2 of them intentional walks. And Tomlin, who posted the victory last night, he worked an inning and 2/3, allowed 2 hits, no runs, with a strikeout and 2 walks. Looks like Richie Hebner has been taken down, and Danny Ozark will counter the pitching change by bringing to the plate to hit right-handed batting Jose Cardinal. Tomlin loosens up. We check the scores available to us. At the end of 3 from Minnesota, Yankees behind Guidry lead Minnesota and Darrell Jackson 2-0. Texas 1, Kansas City 0 in the top of the 4th inning. In Kansas City, Alexander facing Leonard, and still nothing in yet on Boston and Milwaukee and Baltimore at Chicago, with the starting times for those 2 games having been delayed because of rain. In the National League, they're in the 8th inning at Olympic Stadium. Montreal has moved past Atlanta by a score of 6-3, scoring 3 in the 6th and 1 in the 7th inning. The 3 runs in the 6th on Chris Fire's 4th home run. Reds in a heap of trouble in the 6th inning. Philadelphia has broken the tie to lead 7-6. And Cardinal will be pinch hitting for Richie Hebner. Jose batting .286, 4 homers, and 27 RBIs. As a pinch hitter, he has been outstanding off the Philadelphia bench, 6 for 15. with 7 RBIs and a home run. Inning started out innocently enough as pinch hitter McCarver popped up to Rose, but then Martin singled to left. Boa laced a single to right field. Martin moved to third. The throw there was late, and Boa moved to second. They intentionally walked Mike Schmidt, and Luzinski has dropped one into shallow right, getting Martin in with a tie-breaking run. Now Cardinal ready to swing the bat against new pitcher Dave Tomlin. David 6-1 on the year with a .377 earned run average, his 40th appearance. Tomlin from the stretch sends in the pitch, and Cardinal swings and hits one in the right center field. Griffey racing back, he makes the catch. Tagging and scoring from third is Boa, and is an 8-6 ball game. Cardinal hit that ball well. Schmidt remains at second, Luzinski at first. Here's Garry Maddox, 7th man to hit. Tomlin pitches, and Maddox fouls it away. Now checking the runners, the left-hander looking around and into the plate. Maddox pops it up, and that'll be played by Dave Concepcion, and that retires the side. The Phillies, however, get 2 runs on 3 base hits, 2 men left on, and through 6 complete, and a seesaw battle at the vet in Philadelphia. Phillies 8, Reds 6. Well, as we move to the 7th inning, Danny Ozark going to his 3rd pitcher of the night to try and hold off the Cincinnati Reds in an 8-6 ball game, Philadelphia. And to tell you about him and call the 7th, here again is Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty, a couple of changes in the Philadelphia lineup. As you point out, Tug McGraw, the new pitcher, and a new first baseman, Jose Cardinal. Well, Tug McGraw coming on. He was in last night's game. Tug making his 36th appearance of the year. He's won 8 and lost 3 with a .267 earned run average. Tug in 54 innings has allowed 46 hits, has struck out 33 and walked 18. McGraw in those 54 innings has allowed just 1 home run. He will be facing Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan, and George Foster. Here in the 7th inning, the Reds trailing 8-6. This has been a tug-of-war to this point. Griffey 1 for 3 tonight. He swings and misses McGraw's first pitch. Then he singled his last time up, that being in the 5th inning when the Reds scored 3 times to tie it up at 5-5. Phillies went ahead with a run in the 6th. Reds came back with 2 to go ahead. There's a bouncer to Cardinal at first. He goes to the bag and 1 out. 1 away, and Joe Morgan the batter. Joe, a big 2-run double in the 5th. attendance tonight here at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, 44,034. 44,034. McGraw delivers. Morgan takes inside the ball. Next pitch is in for a called strike for me. It's 1-1. Now the Yankees beating up on Minnesota tonight. Fifth inning, New York leading 11-0. Texas leading Kansas City 1-0 in the fourth at Kansas City. 1-1 pitch, up high, fastball. Count goes 2-1 to Morgan. McGraw winds and delivers. Morgan swings and misses. Count evens 2-2. Warren Brewster worked an inning and a third, allowing 2 hits, 1 strikeout, and 1 run. The pitch swung on and fouled, and the count holds at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Fastball in on him. McGraw's first strikeout. 2 away, and George Foster the batter. George 1 for 2 tonight. He walked in the second and scored. Grounded the second and the third. Singled to right in the fifth to drive in a run. His 77th of the year. Jim Kaat started for Philadelphia. He worked 4 2/3 innings. Brewster an inning and a third. And now McGraw here in the seventh delivers a curveball high to Foster. Ball 1. George hitting .302 with now 77 RBIs and 23 home runs. Outfield about straight away. McGraw back to the plate, and that's high. A fastball. 2-0 to count. Reds move on to Montreal tomorrow night to open a 3-game series. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and then it's into New York on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 2-0 delivery. That's in for a called strike screwball. 2-1. Raw winds and his pitch. That's the Scroogey, hangs high and outside. 3 balls to strike. Right now, Warren Brewster would be the winner and Manny Sarmiento the loser, but we got a little time to catch up and hopefully go ahead. And the 3-1 pitch, Foster swings on it and fouls it straight back. Full count. McGraw has walked 18 batters in the 54 innings he's worked. Full count to George Foster with 2 out here in the 7th for the Reds. McGraw the payoff. Swung on, that's foul to the screen. Out holding is 3-2 to Foster. McGraw has to sign the pitch. Check swing on a screwball. It's down low, and first base umpire Ed Montague says that Foster went too far. And strikeout for Tug, his second in the inning, and for the Reds, nothing across, middle of the 7th. It's the Phillies 8, the Reds 6.
You know, different folks have different ways to spend their time, enjoy their days. Me, I like to fish. I really do. Well, there's something good about a lazy creek. Helps me relax from a long, hard week like my Red Fox chewing tobacco, the relaxing chew. Well, it's soft and moist and mild for sure. The flavor's fresh. The taste is pure. Red Fox is best. I like it. Yes, I do. So I keep me an extra pouch of Red Fox by my side in my tackle box. When it comes to tobacco, those Red Fox folks come through. Why don't you try Red Fox? Look for it in the white pouch with a picture of Old Red taking it easy. Red Fox chewing tobacco. Now it's better than ever. So if you like to relax, and I'll bet you do, settle down with a Red Fox chew, because Mister, taking it easy never tasted so good. Red Fox.
The Phillies in the bottom half of the seventh will send up Ted Sizemore, or make that Bob Boone, then Sizemore, and the pitcher, Doug McGraw, against Dave Tomlin. The Phillies scoring a run in the first, picking up 2 more in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth. The Reds runs coming 2 in the second inning, 3 in the fifth inning, and 1 in the sixth. Phillies leading it 8-6. They've out-hit the Reds 14-8. Bob Boone deleted off, and Boone 1 for 3, an RBI double in the fourth inning. Tomlin winds and delivers. Boone takes it low and inside a ball. Reds winning last night on 2 swings to the bat, 7-2, a 3-run homer and a grand slam. Swing and a hard ground ball. Concepcion lets it get through his legs and on into left field. That'll be an arrow charge to Dave Concepcion. That ball went right between Davey's legs. Official score is not ruled on it yet. That brings Ted Sizemore to the plate. And an arrow is charged to Dave Concepcion. First for the ball game. Stretched by Tomlin, and Sizemore squares the bunt and fouls off the first baseline. Cardinal would be on deck. He hit in the 6th inning. No, not true, because Cardinal hit for Hebner in the 6th inning, so Doug McGraw would be the batter. 44,034, the attendance tonight. Tomlin to the belt and throws over to first. They got Boone picked off. Driessen goes to Concepcion, and Boone trying to knock the ball out of the hands of Dave Concepcion, and might call for a little retaliation. Boone a little upset that he was picked off. Play going from 1 to 3 to 6. 1 away, and the count 0-1 to Sizemore. He fouls Tomlin's fastball away, and 0-2 the count. A line to pitch. Curveball hangs fine outside. 1-2 now to Sizemore. Tomlin delivers. Sizemore swings and bounces it foul off the third baseline. Rose fields the ball and returns to Dave Tomlin. 1 out, the base is empty. Philadelphia leading 8-6. Outfield around to the right. Here's Tomlin's 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and that's it right at Ken Henderson in center. Kenny drifts back a couple of steps and puts it away. For 2 out, and pitcher Doug McGraw, the batter. Doug this year has, well, let's see, has not been to the plate as yet. So this will be Doug's first time up this year. Doug hitting right-handed. Tomlin works, and McGraw takes high and outside a ball. The pitch. High and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Phillies about 115,000, over 115,000 ahead of last year's attendance pace at 42 dates. There's a strike to McGraw, fastball. 2-1. pitch. Swung on, that's pop foul down the right side. Danny Driessen and Griffey, and Kenny calls and makes the play. That's the inning. Griffey taking in McGraw's foul ball in foul territory for the final out. Nothing across, but one error charge to the Reds. And after 7, the Phils lead 8-6.
When your car needs an oil change, chances are what you say is change the oil, which is all you need to say unless you want to make a change for the better. Namely, new Ultra D motor oil from Marathon. Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil is a special blend of natural and synthetic ingredients that's really different from conventional blends. A special blend that means better gas mileage for you, more miles per tank full. New Ultra D motor oil was tested by independent laboratories, including road tests in typical city and highway driving, and the results were the same. Improved gas mileage, more miles per tank full. So go ahead, improve your mileage. Get your car's engine together with Marathon's new Ultra D motor oil.
Make a change for the better with new Ultra D.
A change for the better from the people who do it better. Marathon Oil Company.
Now the 7-inning totals show the Reds 6 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. The Phils 8 runs, 14 hits, no errors. Johnny Bench will lead it off in the 8th inning for the Reds, and back with the action, here's Marty.
Okay, Joe, the Reds set down an order in the last inning. Tug McGraw's first on the mound, and knowing the competitor this guy is, I'm sure he feels like he has something to prove after having his problems last night. He was really pumped up when he got George Foster looking at strike 3 to end the 7th. But a new inning, the Reds 2 down. Johnny Bench in the game has doubled, scored a run, flied to left field, and flied to right. John 1 for 3. Bench batting .258, 11 home runs and 34 RBIs. Here's McGraw with a pitch, and John looks at a strike. Swing and a miss. Actually, John got a piece of the ball, and in it went to Bob Boone's mitt. Nothing in 2 very quickly. McGraw not wasting any time, coming right back, and Bench grounds one off the bat handle to third. Schmidt off to his left, makes the play, and throws him out. We'll pause for station identification now on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Follow the Reds all season long on Zebra 100 WRMZ, Columbus, Ohio, where you hear more of what you listen for.
Tug McGraw's retired 4 batters in a row as he gets Bench on a bouncing ball to third. That brings up Concepcion. David has doubled in 2 official trips. He bluffs a bunt, takes a strike. Not the entire Philadelphia infield charging in. And the Reds are now beginning to run out of time in their bid to go 2-0 on this 8-game road trip. Second leg of which will start tomorrow night in Montreal. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing at a foul off Boone's mitt. The way things stand right now with the Phillies up by 2 runs, Warren Brewster would be the winning pitcher, and Manny Sarmiento would lose it. That's high. Screw ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kenny Henderson on deck with 1 away in the 8th inning. Davey smashes one off the mound, and it goes on into center field for a base hit. Not a low line drive that hit the top of the mound and kicked on up the middle. So hot hitting Kenny Henderson at the plate. He's delivered twice in the game, a triple and a single, both times to drive in runs. Kenny now batting at .262. Davey takes a good lead. McGraw bluffs a throw that way, and Davey dives back into the bag. Cardinal holding out his hand saying, hey, I don't have the ball. And there's a throw to first this time, and he almost threw that one away. $44,034, and they've seen an exciting ball game tonight, much in the same vein as last night's encounter. High for ball one to Henderson. Well, we mentioned earlier Chris Spire hit a home run against Atlanta. He has now hit for the cycle in that game with a double in the 8th inning off Mickey Mailer. Single, double, triple, and home run for Chris Spire. Strike is called to Henderson. Tomorrow night, Ross Grimsley, 12-game winner for the Expos, will oppose right-hander Mike Lacasse, who will be making his first major league start. Strike two is called. Henderson looking him over. And McGraw with the advantage of ball and 2 strikes. Benches bounce to third. Davey is single to center. The Reds are 2 runs away in the 8th. Left-hander to the belt. Looking. Still looking. And now the pitch. That is foul back. Tug McGraw, who had some glory years with the New York Mets, was a very vital part of that 1969 World Championship team, and has come over here to Philadelphia, and over the last 3 years has done quite a job out of this club's bullpen. Henderson fouls it off the right field line. When we say that Tug McGraw is not one prone to give up the home run ball, you can underline those words. He has allowed, believe it or not, but 1 homer in 54 innings this season. Swung on and hit high in the air to straightaway center field, shallow. Plenty of time for Maddox to get there, and he makes a catch. Two down for Danny Driessen. Danny 0 for 2 with a pop to short, a strikeout. He had a walk his first time up. And he's not had a hit in his last 10 times at the plate. There's a strike of the letters to him. Screwball in there. Letter high, strike one call. Dave Tomlin on deck. Bourbon loosening up in the event Driessen gets on. That pitch is inside to him for a ball, 1-1. Kaat started for the Phillies, went 4 2/3 innings. Brewster came on, and then McGraw in the 7th. Foul back and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Reds' first baseman. Either one team or the other has scored in every inning in this game, with the exception of inning number 7. Phillies 1 in the first, Reds 2 in the second. They got 2 in the third, 2 in the 4th inning. We got 3 in the 5th. They got 1 in the 5th. The Reds with a run in the 6th inning to tie it at 6-6, and the Phillies with 2 in the bottom of the 6th to go out in front. Driessen swings and sends it into center field. Maddox, playing him almost perfectly, backs up and hauls it in. In the 8th, the Reds numbers, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We played 7.5, and the Phillies own the lead at 8-6.
Starting July 30th, the Red Rooters Club is sponsoring a fabulous 14-day tour to 3 Hawaiian islands and San Diego. In Honolulu, you'll take the fascinating Circle Island tour and visit historic Pearl Harbor. You'll also enjoy the magnificent Polynesian Cultural Center and attend a fabulous dinner show. Then it's on to Maui for 3 nights, where you'll enjoy the Lau Valley tour and a special beach steak fry. Next, it's Cowie with hotel accommodations for 3 nights, a tour of Waimea Canyon, and the Fern Grotto River Cruise. Your Hawaiian trip will be topped off with an Hawaiian barbecue. And your return will take you to San Diego for 2 games with our Reds and the Padres. With hotel accommodations for 3 nights, plus a sightseeing tour of Balboa Park and other points of interest, and a fabulous dinner at a famous restaurant. For complete details on this fantastic trip, call the Barney Rapp Agency at 513-381-7277. 381-7277. We at Stroh's hope you can make it. It'll be great, just like Stroh's beer.
Philadelphia will be setting up the top of the order here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Jerry Martin, Larry Bowa, and Mike Schmidt. Dave Tomlin has been on the mound since the 6th inning when he came in relief of Sarmiento to face Cardinal with the bases loaded. Jose delivered a sacrifice fly, getting in the 8th Philadelphia run before Maddox pop up the shortstop ended the inning. Faced 3 batters in the 7th. And now we'll be working to Martin for the first time. Jerry is 1 for 4. He got him started in that 2-run 6th inning with a 1-out single to left field. This is only hit tonight. Well, the right-handed batter climbs in, and Tomlin sends in the pitch. It's in there for a call strike, breaking ball. Oh, I think it'd be safe to say that Ron Guidry is going to get his 14th win tonight. In the 5th inning, the Yankees now lead the Minnesota Twins 11-0. Curved strike 2 call. Guidry was supposed to have pitched last night, but was moved back a day because of a, quote, tired arm. As they reported in the Philadelphia newspapers this morning, Figueroa went into his spot and promptly pitched a shutout, and now Guidry once again on top of his game tonight. Fouled away by Martin on the 0-2 pitch. Now, with Tomlin pitching, we'd like to send along get well wishes to Dave's father-in-law, Tom Hamrick, who's in the Adams County Hospital in West Union, Ohio. And Tom listens to our broadcast religiously, and Tom, if you're listening to us tonight, we hope you're feeling better. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded at third. Rose has it, and the long throw to Driessen got him at first base. One away, that brings up Larry Bowa. 6 hits in the 2-game series, believe it or not. Larry, all told, has raised his batting average 9 points in 2 nights. Went 3 for 5 last night and is 3 for 4 tonight. Has knocked in a run, has scored 1. He laces one over first base and into right field. His 4th hit. Well, Larry Bowa has gotten well against Cincinnati pitching. He had been in a slump prior to this series, but boy, I'll tell you, he's not in it tonight. That's the 15th hit for Philadelphia, and the first base hit off Dave Tomlin. Mike Schmidt is double and single. Has had a sacrifice fly, has drawn an intentional walk. He's 2 for 2. Call strike. Schmidt's also had a good series with 4 hits. Montreal trying to nail down a win in the 9th inning. 7-3 over Atlanta. Check swing on a pitch low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the 9th inning, the Reds will be sending up a pinch hitter for Tomlin, then Pete Rose, followed by Ken Griffey. Hold them right here and maybe come up with some 9th inning heroics, as we did 2 months ago back in the month of May here against McGraw. Phillies leading 8-6. Schmidt waiting on Tomlin's 1-1 pitch, and here it is. Curve is high and away, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Larry Bowa at first base, leading against a holding Danny Driessen, as Tomlin lob throws one to the first baseman. Now the pitch, and Schmidt takes it high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, the thing we got to do right now is hold them at 2 runs, at the 2-run lead, and hope that we can generate some offense against a guy in McGraw who's been awfully tough so far in relief. Phillies trying to get it going, however, as Tomlin has fallen behind 3-1 on Schmidt after Bowa's had a hit to right. Schmidt swings and he misses. Full count. Well, you have to think that Larry Bowa is going to be running on this pitch. Tomlin looks him in the eye, and he'll throw to first base again. Now Schmidt waiting on a payoff pitch. Bowa goes. It is strike 3 swinging. Throw down to second base. Gets off Morgan's glove, and Larry Bowa gets himself a stolen base. His 18th of the year. Tomlin with his first punch out as Schmidt goes down swinging, and now the batter is Greg Luzinski. Greg was the one who dumped one in shallow right field with the bases loaded in the 6th inning to get Jerry Martin in with a tie-breaking run. Then Cardinal had the sacrifice fly to give him an insurance tally. Bowa at second with 2 away. Luzinski looks at a high and away fastball. See on the air at 7:05. That's Cincinnati time with the pregame shows tomorrow night. Game number 1 against Montreal will be there on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, and then 3 next week in New York. Ball 2, that Mets club knocked off Houston twice this afternoon. And the Astros have to come back in here and play a doubleheader against the Phillies tomorrow night, believe it or not. Now with a count 2-0 on Luzinski, they're going to go ahead and intentionally walk him. See, the second walk that Luzinski has had in the game. So the Phillies have him at first and second. And Larry Shepard coming back out of the dugout, indicating that he wants Pedro Borbon from the bullpen. Sparky Anderson thrown out of this game back in the 4th inning by plate umpire Lee Wire on a move that I think went unnoticed by everybody in the ballpark except those on the field. Shep came out to change pitchers in the 6th inning, and that was the first inkling that anybody had that Anderson had been ejected. Then we got the official notification later on from Philadelphia publicity director Larry Shank. Right now, Larry Shepard seems to be a bit irate as he chatters with Lee Wire, but that conversation is broken off. And the signal goes to the press box, and the official scorer that Pedro Borbon is now coming on to replace Dave Tomlin. So Pedro becomes the 4th Cincinnati pitcher to work in this game. Borbon will be making his 40th appearance with a record of 5 wins and a loss and a .413 earned run average. Philadelphia getting a couple of men on here in the 9th inning. They're trying to get some more runs, or the 8th inning rather, before the Reds come to bat in the 9th. And so Borbon will come on and try to retire Cardinal for the final out. See if Danny Ozark tries to make another move. now that the right-hander is on the mound. Noted today that a former Philadelphia Philly, Tommy Hutton, has returned to the National League. Tommy, last year and up until this point in the 1978 season with the Toronto Blue Jays, he is now a member of the Montreal Expos, going to that club in return for, quote, future considerations, unquote. So Tommy Hutton, no doubt, in uniform for Montreal tonight. Got a chance to renew some old acquaintances with his friends in the National League from years past. Bourbon is ready to go, and so too is Cardinal, who pinch hit for Richie Hebner in the 6th inning and picked up an RBI, his 27th of the season, with that line out to Griffey in right center. They've got Bowa at second. They've got Luzinski at first. 2 men have been retired. Bourbon pitches, and Cardinal swings and fouls out of play. Montreal has beaten Atlanta 7-3. Fryman the winner, Easterly the losing pitcher. Concepcion trying to sneak in behind Bowa as Cardinal steps out of the box, and Bourbon goes ahead and throws a pitch anyway. Check swing, that's high. 1 ball and 1 strike. One on the way, and that's just high. 2 balls and a strike. A Philly team that collectively and with some exceptions individually have been slumping of late. Strike 2 call. Having 2 pretty good nights back-to-back offensively with 10 hits last night and 15 hits up to this point tonight. 2-2 the count on Cardinal. Ground ball at first. Driessen has it. Danny will beat Cardinal to the bag, and that ends at Philadelphia 8. No runs on a hit. No errors and 2 left. So the Reds will come to bat in the 9th, needing 2 or more, because the score, Philadelphia 8 and Cincinnati 6.
Some people wonder why spend money on replacement windows when they already have good windows in their home. Well, maybe some of these New Sash customer letters will help you understand why. Dear Mr. Johnson, I wondered about spending money on New Sash windows, but my reservations are now gone. My wife thinks they're beautiful and very easy to clean, but the amazing thing is that we keep the thermostat 65 degrees all winter long, and our furnace only comes on 4 or 5 times a day instead of 10 or 15 times as in the past. Thank you. Our New Sash windows are paying for themselves. If fuel savings are important to you this winter, give Bill Johnson a call at 267-8396. New Sash is the only window with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. And New Sash replacement windows are custom made for a perfect fit. Call Bill Johnson at 267-8396 and let him show you how to save up to 30% or more in heating costs. That 24-hour number again, 267-8396. Always ask for the original New Sash.
Dave Collins will start out the 9th inning for Cincinnati as he hits for Pedro Bourbon. The pitching lines on Dave Tomlin and Bourbon. Tomlin 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a strikeout, and intentional walk. Bourbon goes 1/3 of an inning. Dave Collins batting .212 as he leads off and tries to get on here in the 9th inning. Pitch from McGraw, swung on, a bouncer on 1 hop to 3rd. Here's the throw from Schmidt to Cardinal, 1 away. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and Pete Rose will be standing in for the 5th time. 1 for 4, an infield hit in the 5th inning, keeping his hitting streak alive. It now stands at 33 games. Rose takes it over the plate, but below the knees. Ball 1. Swung on and bounced to 3rd again. Schmidt playing well off the line for Pete, and he shoots him down. So Tug McGraw throws 3 pitches to get the first 2 men retired, and here's Ken Griffey, who will try to keep the Reds going. He's had 1 hit. That was back in the 5th inning when the Reds scored 3 times to tie the game at that time at 5-5 against starter Jim Kaat. Strike on the inside edge. Kenny faced McGraw in the 7th and bounced out to Cardinal. Strike 2 call. This guy not fooling around at all, boy. He's throwing bullseyes, and Griffey very quickly is in a 2-strike hole. The wind to pitch. He struck him out swinging, and that's a ball game. The Reds are out in order in the 9th inning. Last night it was the Reds' night against McGraw. Tonight it was Tug's night against Cincinnati. Final score in the final game in regular season play for Cincinnati here in Philadelphia. The Phillies 8 and the Reds 6. And we'll be back in just a moment.
When you want to know the ones you love and the things you love will always be secure. Make friends with tomorrow. Range Insurance, to be sure.
Every business executive tries to hedge against inflation. Many succeed by purchasing real estate. Your Grange agent offers this caution. As real estate values increase, so should insurance coverage. Homes purchased for $30,000 a few years back now may sell in the 60s. Unfortunately, some owners have not added extra insurance coverage. This could be bad news in the event of a heavy loss. So make friends with tomorrow. Guard against inflation today. Call your nearest Grange agent.
There's nothing like the feeling that you get when you know you're safe now and secure. Protected by Grange Mutual. Grange Insurance, to be sure.
Well, in a seesaw ball game here in Philadelphia tonight, in the final game of the brief 2-game set, the Phillies come out a winner 8-6, scoring 2 times in the bottom of the 6th inning off Manny Sarmiento to break a tie and go on to post a victory. 8 runs, 15 hits, no errors, and 9 left on for Philadelphia, while the Reds had 6 runs on 9 hits with an error and 5 left. Warren Brewster, who was the second of 3 pitchers, picked up the victory. He's now 3-0 on the year. And the defeat went to Manny Sarmiento. His record dips to 7 wins and 6 losses. Tug McGraw, pitching the last 3 innings and giving Cincinnati only 1 base hit while striking out 3, records a save, his 8th of the year, and that number equals the high of right-hander Ron Reed, as Reed and McGraw have formed quite a tandem out of the Philadelphia bullpen, with 16 saves on the year among the 18 that the relievers on this ball club have chalked up. The Reds now will head on to Montreal to open up a 3-game series there tomorrow night against Dick Williams Expos, and we'll be talking about the starting pitchers in that game when we continue in just a moment.